Hi there. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Sandra at artypapercrafters.com. Today my project is this gorgeous little copper embossed note card. I think it's really pretty. I've also embossed the inside and I think it looks absolutely stunning and I'm really rather pleased. I don't know if you can see the sheen that's got on it. It's really lovely and pretty. And I've used soft suede and Cajun craze here, and I think the two really go well with that lovely copper embossing. So we're going to get on and make that, and today I am using the Flourishing Phrases stamp set to do this beautiful embossing with, and it comes as two parts, this stamp set, and we are also going to use the little framelit dies that come with it, which I've stuck inside here to keep it all together. Right, so let's crack on with it. So I'm just going to bring in my scoreboard to do a little bit of scoring. So we are starting our card with soft suede again, which measures 11.5 inches by 4 1/8 inches, which in centimetres is 29 by 10.5. We've got a piece of Flirty Flamingo here, measuring 5 1/4 by 4 inches, which is 13.5 by 10 centimetres. And for our beautiful copper embossing, a piece measuring 4 by 3 1/8 inches, which is 10 by 8 centimetres. So I've already scored my card in the middle, as you'll see, at the 5 3/4 mark. And on my original, you will see that I've done just a little bit of embossing with my scoring tool, just to give it a little bit more detail, and I've also done that on the little piece here that I've copper embossed. I think you can see that there. So let's score that. So you need to turn it to the opposite side, and we are going to score it at the 5 7/8 mark and the 6 inches. So that's all the scoring done on that piece. And then with our very vanilla piece, we are going to put that in, and we are going to score that at 1/8 of an inch on both ends. And at 1/8 of an inch on the sides. And that just gives a little bit more interest on our card. See that? I think you can see that. Right then, so scoreboard away, we don't need that anymore. So we fold our card in half. Give that a bit of a burnish. And now what we're going to do first is we're going to get our big shot out, because we're going to cut out this little motif on the side here. And I find what I've done with them, and that's the little motif here. So we're going to get the big shot in, and we're going to cut that out of the side. So let's go and get that in. So in order to cut that beautiful detailing out, I'm using the precision base plate. So we put that in on the bottom first, and then we're going to position that onto the edge of our card. Let's get a bit of tape, a bit of washi tape There we are. Top plate on. And then we're going to crank it through. Now, because it's detailed, I like to put it through, excuse me, a couple of times. In fact, I'm going to put it through 3 times just to make doubly sure that that's going to get that out nice and crisp. So that's all we need our big shot for, so I'm going to move that out of the way, otherwise it will be in the way. So now I've got this little sponge which comes with a little brush. It's in the catalogue and it is for these dies that are intricate. So we take that off carefully. And now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put my brush on the back like that to knock out all those pieces. And as you can see, they've come out pretty clean, just 1 or 2 left in. I'm just going to poke that one out with my tool, and then sometimes you get these hairy bits which drive me nuts. So very carefully just brush that over the back just to release any of those hairy bits that you get. And that's done. Because now what we're going to do, we're going to insert that back into the gap, and then that will shine through on our soft suede and it will look beautiful. So we're going to stick that on. And what we're going to do, I'm going to get some scratch paper and lay that on. And you can either use the fine tip glue pen, which is still current in the Stampin' Up catalogue, that works just as well, but I have got the 2-way glue pen, which I believe is now retired, but I've got it, I like it, so I'm going to use that. And what we're going to do, we're going to run that along the back of that detailing, because we want to make sure that that's going to stick down on the back of our card. And we can run that along that edge there too at the same time. So you don't have to cover every little bit, but if you can cover as much as possible, then that is good. Go just round the outside edges a bit. And now we are going to put some Tombow glue on the rest of it. Otherwise we'll be here all day with that pen, won't we? And we do not want to do that. So very carefully you lift that up and then you lay it down and over to the position you need it to be. You've got to be pretty quick with this because you don't want it to move. Lay it down on the edge. And then just gently run your fingers across, and as you can see, that's stayed in there perfectly and looks beautiful. So now we're going to get on with our beautiful copper embossing. So grab our very vanilla piece and our scratch paper, of course. Lid on these things before we get much older. And then we're going to get our Versamark and our beautiful copper emboss. This is a new product from in the catalogue for this year, which I think is beautiful. It's nice to have a different colour to work with. So we are going to get our beautiful floral design. Seems to be some bits of rubbish on that. I'll get that off. I don't know. It's just not wanting to come off. That's it. Right. So I've run my embossing buddy over that. So now we're going to cover our stamp with our Versamark. Make sure that every little detail is covered. And then we're going to stamp that down on our design, which I have sort of done at an angle. It fits on there just nicely. Press that down for a few seconds. Lift that off. Beautiful. And then this is where the magic happens, which it fascinates me every time I do this. It fascinates me how you've got no image and suddenly this copper emboss or Stampin emboss, any colour you like, just brings it to life. I love it. So I think that's covered that well. There. Looks nice already. So let's just get this back in the pot. Don't want to waste any of that beautiful powder. Right, put that away. Now I'm afraid it's going to get noisy, so I'm going to put my heat tool on. Takes a few seconds, but now you can see it's starting to turn. And I hope you'll agree that that's just beautiful. Now. Sorry, turn that off, and look, isn't that gorgeous? And so now we're going to do a bit of copper emboss on our card, because the sentiment goes at the top there, like on this one. And so I get my little, and we're just going to put just a note. Or shall we have thank you very much? Let's have thank you very much. No, I'm sticking with just a note. Make up your mind, Sandra. Right. Now, let's hope that's straight on the block there. So, wipe over again with the embossing buddy. Into the Versamark. I think that's covered. And just position that where it's going so that you can see where you need to stamp your sentiment. Hope that that's gone down straight. Looks good to me. Right, let's get the copper powder again. Looks good. And heat tool again. So now we're going to put our card together like this, and I have just put some Tombow on the back of this. Position that nice and even. I think that's good. There. And now we're going to add some pearls to the front because I thought that they looked good. So what I've done is I put a pearl on every other one of these little motifs, whatever you call them. Whoops. Like that. And I think that looks brilliant. Now the inside of my card has copper embossing too. I haven't cut a piece of card to do that, so I shall have to just cut a piece of that. I'll just go and get some card, and I just need to measure. So that measures 5.5 by 4. 5.5 by 4. And we're just going to do a little bit more copper embossing with our motif. So let's run that over the corners. And just into the corner like that. I've just realised I haven't put that on my scratch paper, never mind. And like that. And then scratch paper again, copper embossing. That away. And so that's how the middle piece is done. I just need to do my sentiment on that, which I will do later, because the time is running out on my camera now for filming. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say that that is the finished project. I think it's a beautiful project. I hope you do too. If you would like to shop with me, then please click in the down arrow button where you will be taken over to my website or to the project details themselves. If you don't have a demonstrator and would like to order some of these products, I would be extremely grateful if you could place an order through me. Anyway, that's all for me today. Thank you for joining me. Bye for now. Bye.